Hey everybody, I'm here today to not only welcome you to Horizon, but to give you a little new parent orientation. So welcome to Horizon Charter School. We're so glad that you made Horizon your child's choice for their education because Horizon offers so many different choices. You can do independent study, homeschooling, learning center classes, and virtual learning instruction. So there's a lot that Horizon Charter School offers, and we just want to welcome you to the fold. So let's get started. So who am I? Well, I'm the District Administrator of Community Relations and Parent Support. I'm Michele Giacomini, Mickey Giacomini. And I help find resources for you and put you in touch with the right people to help you. I'm also the communications hub for the organization because you need all sorts of information. We have a lot of different departments here at Horizon, and all of them are connected to you in some way, shape, or form. And because of that, they have information that they need you to know about. And a lot of times they send that to me so that I can get it out to you. Another part of my role here at Horizon is being the parent liaison. So by doing that, I coordinate all sorts of different meetups and other events. And sometimes I do workshops like this one and others. I also run the parent planning team meetings. And the parent planning team is definitely a team that I know you want to join because we get together and brainstorm all different kinds of fun events and things to do for our families. And I know you want to be part of that, right? So be sure to join. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I also write the monthly skim. And if you haven't heard about it yet, you're going to. So stay tuned. Now, I don't know about you, but when I joined Horizon, there were so many different acronyms to learn. And I was just like, what does that mean? What does that mean? So I wanted to make sure that you are not overwhelmed with all the acronyms. And I'm going to provide a few of the most important ones for you today. So far we have your ST, and that is your supervising teacher. That is your number one go-to person that you will get information from, you will communicate with. They are so resourceful. So get to know your supervising teacher well. We're going to talk about them in a little bit more in depth. There are also your RAs, which are your regional administrators. Now, an RA, the way I think of it is they're a principal for your region. So they know everything about what's going on for Horizon Education in your region, okay? Also, we have LCs, and that is a learning center. And we have a learning center in Roseville on Reserve Drive. And it's a brick and mortar place where children can come in and take classes a couple of days a week. So if that's something of interest to you, then definitely check into that and see if there's some availability for your child to take an LC class, okay? Also, for our high school students, we have VLI, which is our virtual learning instruction. Now, that's not to say that we don't have online classes for our kindergarten through 8th graders. We do, but it's through some of our vendors. So if that's of interest, be sure to talk to your supervising teacher about the different vendors who provide online education. So there's also the hub, but the hub is actually not an acronym. I probably tricked you a little bit on that. The hub is really a hub. It's a hub of resources for our families. And I'm going to take you to that right now. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the home page right here. And as you take a look down through it, this is just the landing page, so it's the front page, and you've got all this school information, field trips, vendors, news, different videos, that kind of good stuff. And then actually if you hover on that, you'll see that there's the foundation page. Our Horizon Foundation is the part of Horizon that does the fundraising so that they can build up funds for different student programs and scholarships, just to name a few. And then there's the parent resources page, which I'm particularly fond of because I get to be part of that one. Now on that page, when you go there, you'll have some links to a few different important things. And then, of course, we've got wonderful Kathleen Waffle here, and she teaches a lot of our workshops for our parents, so you'll get to know her. We also have our IT information on the TK through 8. Those are all different links for different types of resources for curriculum. High school, also curriculum, but we have the guidance tab there. So if you have a high school student, get to know this particular tab very well. We have amazing counselors And they always keep this up with a lot of really great information to keep you going. So be sure to check that out. And even if your child isn't in high school yet, I recommend perusing it just so you get an idea of what your child's going to need to know and be part of when they get to the high school years. This tab is for learning centers. We also have an events tab, but this is really important to note. This events tab goes to a calendar for different kinds of school events, including field trips, which we're going to talk about later, that you can use instructional funds for, that you can get vouchers to use instructional funds. Our meetups are not on these calendars. Those come out through the SCIM, and again, we'll talk about that more in depth in just a few moments. We also have a tab here for assessments and staff. So, all right, that's a lot for the hub, but boy, believe me, there's even more to it than that. But you're going to need to be able to get in, take some time and peruse it. So be sure to bookmark that link when you get that, and take some time to get to know the hub. Okay, so in addition to the hub being a great resource, we actually have a humongous physical resource. It's called the Curriculum Resource Center, or we always call it the CRC. And boy, when you go there, they have so many different great resources. They've got books, they've got curriculum support materials, they've got reference materials, manipulatives, and you can check out up to 50 items. Now, this is a fantastic opportunity because if you get to check these out for free, that means you don't have to tap into your instructional funds. That means more funding for your child to take classes and maybe tutoring or other things that are just as important, because you get all of these things for free. Okay, you can also order online. So that's another extra great bonus right there. So if you're ever out at the district office, this is not located at the district office, but it's very close by. It's just right around the corner. So if you're going to be at the DO, the district office, take some extra time and go over to the CRC and check it out. It's worth the extra time because they really do have so many great resources there. Meetups and study trips. I know that's the best part, right? Everybody loves field trips. So what's the difference? Okay, meetups are what I coordinate. And what those are events for our families to get together, meet each other, do something really interesting or fun together, and really get a chance to basically meet other Horizon families. So I think it's really important to go because of that, because that offers you this opportunity to connect with these other Horizon families, gives your children an opportunity to socialize, and it's really fantastic. Our study trips, these are basically events where you can use your vouchers, you can use your instructional funds towards those. So for example, there's oftentimes the Bishop's Pumpkin Patch, right? And that's a trip that you can actually use your instructional funding for. So you would work that out with your supervising teacher on how to get your voucher taken care of so that your instructional funds can go towards that particular outing. Those are not coordinated by me. I coordinate the meetups, so Mickey meetups, everything else, you know, vouchers or field trips, but Mickey does the meetups, right? So just keep that in mind. And let me actually, so what you'll want to do is, again, go through your supervising teacher, which we're going to talk about right now, to find out about how you can pay for your field trips with the vouchers. Otherwise, just meet with me for the meetups. And I send out a monthly skim so that you know what kind of events are coming up. That's really important. Okay, supervising teachers. Your supervising teacher is your #1 line of communications at Horizon, and they are your manager of all your instructional funds. And you can count on them to go over a lot of information with you throughout the year, but initially they're going to go through curriculum with you, like the curriculum you're ordering. They're going to go over the I always say home, but it's the Office Depot card, the purchasing card, because that gives you a discount on your supplies. So that's a win. We love that. They'll go over your student's schedule, and they're going to teach you how to report the extracurricular activities. So if your child's into horseback riding or karate or gymnastics or whatever, you have a form that you need to make sure you report that all on, and they're going to go over that. Same thing, they also have a learning log that they'll go over with you too, so that you can complete your child's monthly learning log. Instructional funds, we've been talking a little bit about instructional funds. This is really important. Your instructional funds, it's a block of funding per child. So it's $2,600 for grades K through 8 and $2,800 per student for grades 9 through 12. And that funding goes towards your child's classes and curriculum. And there are some guidelines. So when you make purchases off from your instructional funds, they need to be between $10 to $100, and they have to be approved by your regional administrator, your RA. And all of your purchasing must be processed through your ST, your supervising teacher. So that's really important to know. Also, if your child is very active in physical classes, like for physical education, PE, you can only use 25% of your instructional funding for that. So please keep that in mind. I know we'd love to spend $2,600 every winter skiing, but you can't do that. Sorry, but you can use some of it towards it, actually up to 25% towards those great ski trips that we have. And other things, of course, too, but that's a great example. Vendors. We have actually 3 different types of vendors, but you'll only really come into contact with 2 different types. We have our education service vendors, and we have our contract programs vendors. So now with education service, the easiest way to remember that is that you use a purchase order for them, and it's usually for curriculum type purchases, okay? The contract programs, when everybody loves them the most, they just do, because a lot of those are field trips, study trips that you can go on and use your instructional funding for. So that's really great. And they're such a great way to enrich your child's learning, so I highly recommend them. You can also access the vendor list through the hub that I was just showing you. So let's go ahead and bring that back up. And on that landing page right there, the first page, when you scroll down, remember I was showing you field trips vendors, you can go down here and you can click on this one right here and get your vendor list and find out about all of our great vendors right here. Okay, so this is great, and it goes on for days. And then you can also, while we're there, you can also click on the field trip list and see a lot of our different field trips. And this one also goes on for days and days, so just scroll down through there. Okay, so really a good idea to take some time and go through that hub and get this kind of information. If nothing else, get this information first, because it's really important to you and to your child. Now, did you know you can also recommend a vendor if you know of an outfitter that offers really great education services for children, and you're thinking, I want them to be a Horizon vendor, then you can recommend them. And that's great, because we want to make sure that we are providing quality vendors for our families. It's more important to have the quality than the quantity. And our vendor relations department has been doing a wonderful job of going through our vendors and making sure that we are only providing the good quality vendors for our families. So again, if you know somebody who's fantastic, recommend them. All you need to do is just talk to your ST, and they've got the proper paperwork, and we can get that on the way and hopefully get your vendor that you're recommending on our list ASAP. Cleared volunteers. So we are a public charter school, and because of that, that means we have to adhere to the state laws. And part of the state laws are, if we're going to have volunteers around our children, we have to have them cleared. And it's really easy. You just pick up a packet, a fingerprint packet. You can pick that up, like for example, at the Roseville Learning Center. And you need to get your fingerprints done. You need to make sure that you're current on your TB. And then after you get it all submitted, you just wait for clearance to arrive from the Department of Justice. And we love having cleared volunteers, and we need cleared volunteers. And actually, for upcoming events like the Senior Gala, that's really a good one and really fun, and we always need chaperones for that. So we're looking forward for you to become a CLEAR volunteer. And when you become one, let me know so I can say, hey, wait, hey, Joe. Parent workshops. So I mentioned Kathleen Waffle earlier. She does most of our parent workshops, and she's fantastic. She offers just a huge variety of tips and tricks and strategies to help you teach your children. We know that it's not an easy job, and sometimes we need a little extra help in different areas. Some of her workshops are on homeschool success, like organization and planning. She also teaches writing strategies and closed reading, and she has math workshops, and she also now teaches the Projects with a Purpose workshop, which helps you to see how you can provide hands-on learning for your children so that it really saturates their learning and they just get a better understanding of the concepts. So watch for her workshops. She sends those out, and I also try to include them in our monthly skim too. So watch for them and sign up for them. You will not be disappointed. She's fabulous. Parent planning team. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite teams of all times at Horizon. And I mentioned them just a little bit earlier because this is the team of parents that helps me to coordinate all types of really fun events like our meetups. And some of our parents actually coordinate study trips. Those are the ones you can use vouchers for. And I promote them for them. So if they set up a trip to, let's say, Monterey Bay Aquarium, they're the parent coordinator on that. But I let everybody know, hey, Susie Johnson is coordinating this trip to Monterey Bay Aquarium, and you can use your instructional funds for that. Contact her to let her know that you'd like to go too, that sort of thing. It's very simple. But it really affords even more opportunities for our families to get together. Sometimes field trips, they require a minimum for the groups, and that helps if we are able to promote that particular trip to our families to help make that minimum for that parent who's coordinating that trip. And we do a whole lot of other great things. So I'm looking forward to having even more parents join our team this year and help us coordinate a lot of different great fun events. We really do need you. So we know you've got great ideas and we want to hear them. And I hope you'll join us at one of our next meetings. We'll have some coming up really soon. So I have some important reminders for you. One of the most important reminders is to always keep your contact information current. So if your phone number changes, your email changes, your address changes, we need to know. We really pride ourselves on communication with our families, but if we don't have your current information, we can't stay in contact with you. We can't communicate with you. So help us to help you with the information you need by keeping your contact information current. Also, I mentioned earlier, we are a public charter, so that means we have to adhere to the state laws. That means that your children do need to take the state testing every year. It's always in the late spring, and it's very important that you make sure that your children, if they are of the grade levels that need to take state testing, that they are signed up and they are there taking their tests. That's very, very, very important. So please take note of that. Also, please also take note that we have a lot of vendors that offer tutoring. And that's really important because sometimes your children may struggle in a different area. And you might not even know it right now, but you may find out as the year goes that, oh my goodness, my child is really struggling with this in math or that in reading, or boy, they're writing, I need some help here. That's why we have these vendors that are great with tutoring to help your children overcome these areas that they are struggling in. So please, please do not be remiss. Be sure to check with your ST immediately if you see your child struggling, so you can find out who our various vendors are that we partner with for different services in your area. Really, really important to do that as fast as possible. The sooner the better for your child's success, right? We also have a dedicated Horizon parent page on Facebook. So I encourage you, if you're on Facebook, get on Facebook today, and like or follow it. Let's go to it right now. I'll show you. This is what it looks like, maybe. There we go. So here's one of them. That was one of our vendors. There we go. So here's what the parent page looks like. So you go here and, of course, like it, share it, whatnot. Not now. I clicked the wrong thing. Actually, that's probably what you would get, right? So that's the page. Make sure you go there and like it. And what you'll see there is a lot of information. That's where I post a whole bunch of information during the school year, just different things I come across that I know that our parents would want to know about. So keep up to date by joining that. If you're not on Facebook, I recommend you join Facebook just for our page alone. So that'd be great. And we also do have the monthly skim that backs that up. And again, the skim is a monthly email blast that comes out to you, and it has a whole long list of different events that are coming up in your regions. Now, just because there might be an event happening in a region that you don't live in doesn't mean you can't go. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to only go to the events in your region. You're welcome to go to the other regions too when you see that. It'll make more sense when you see it, and that will be coming out soon. So stay tuned every month for your monthly skim. All right, so if you have any questions, I highly recommend that you contact me. And the best way to contact me is through email. So I'm a district administrator, but I work in the field. I'm all over the place all the time. So the best way to reach me, again, is through email. My email is pretty easy, but it seems kind of long. But once you know my name, it's pretty easy. So mgiacomini@hcs.k12.ca.us. So again, if you've got any questions, contact me, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I don't always know all the answers, but I will look into whatever it is that you need help with and try to help you find the answers or direct you to the people that would probably know. So again, contact me if you have any questions. And again, welcome to Horizon. And I wish you a wonderful year with us. Take care.